Good morning, Ohio. It is James Lewis on this Dream House with Jimmy Curvall. He is the GM, one of the GMs and bar manager at Sorrento. Sorrento's has got such a great history when it comes to sports and classic food with softball, bocce, all kinds of other great stuff. We're going to dive into that with Jimmy. So, Jimmy, thank you for joining us today.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me. It's nice to talk to you today.
So tell us a little bit about when the company got started originally, when it unfortunately took a hiatus, and now that it's back.
The restaurant itself began in 1956 and was started by Enrico and Santina DeLuca. It ran as kind of a small Italian pizza joint at the beginning and grew over the years. Soon after Well, it also is most notable for being the Softball Hall of Fame, as well as for being the spot where Willie DeLuca ran the restaurant after his father. Willie DeLuca was known for doing all of his unusual tricks at the bar and would usually hold his court at the bar, and was known for also being a spot for visitation by the Reds, the Bengals, as interestingly enough, as well as the Oakland Raiders when they were in town in the early 70s. So over the years, it has changed a little bit. It's become an Italian spot. About 10 years ago, there was a fire here, and unfortunately, Enrico, the restaurant, died due to the fire and complications, and his son Willie took over. Now, that's when the spot kind of became a little bit changed. When they reopened, Willie passed away as well from a heart attack, and the restaurant was run by his sister Isa for the last 8 years. Now, in 2019, we bought the restaurant from the DeLuca family and what was left of them, and has been reopened as an Italian joint with a lot of the new and the old involved, meaning the old recipes, particularly the pizza recipe, and a lot of the new character we brought in through old recipes through other families. It's been running well here in Montgomery. It's on Montgomery Road in Norwood, and it's been doing very well. We're very excited to be back in the community and being involved and producing a fine Italian cuisine and pizza. It has also been changed a little bit in the sense that we now have an outdoor patio with a fire pit and with a bocce ball set and with another bar. And we are also going to be opening additional parking via buying the next door neighbors out and putting in more parking spots on that side of the street. So we look forward to providing good pizza and a good atmosphere to the locals, as well as a destination spot for people visiting the area.
Oh, wow.
So we're excited. Good to be back in the area.
Excellent. It is always good to be back. Like you said, your company, Sorrentos, has got a great history behind it. Obviously,
Yep.
Has been in business serving food, but you mentioned also about the softball. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, the Softball Hall of Fame, it started about 34 years ago, which would be in 1985. They've got 182 inducted members in the Softball Hall of Fame, and this is for Ohio. Now, every year, Sorrento's itself is the Softball Hall of Fame spot, and every year they hold a banquet here where they induct new members, and we will host somewhere between 250 to 350 people per year, every time per year. We do also have a master of ceremonies that's involved with the Softball Hall of Fame, which is Jeff Pecoro from the Fox Sports Ohio network. So he also accompanies the gathering as well. So it's really nice. We do have a lot of memorabilia that's either on the walls or will be on the walls shortly to honor those people that are in the Softball Hall of Fame, whether local or in Ohio in general. It's really a destination spot because of that affiliation with the Softball Hall of Fame, and we happily host it every year. It gets a lot of fun, so it's a lot of fun being involved in it. So,
approximately when is that event held?
What was that again?
Approximately when is the event held?
Oh, the event is usually held at the beginning of January. It does change a little bit each year, but generally it's beginning of the January, and it's announced on. It will be announced on the website if people would like to attend. So, and it's like usually a banquet style, and it's a gathering. It's a lot of fun. People are having fun telling old stories and old games that they participated in, and people are there to listen and to hear about it. So it's really an interesting gathering.
Oh, I can imagine. I was going to say I've been to Cooperstown, I've been to Canton, and just the events that they put on. And it's not just the main ceremony; it's those experiences. It's when you sit down with the inductees, which I can imagine you could do at an event like yours, and get to meet some of the Hall of Famers or their family, and like you said, hear those stories, the traditions that have the experience of Ohio sports being passed down from
Yeah.
generation to generation.
Oh, it's a wonderful thing to be involved in, to hear it and to hear um, the uh, the old timers tell us the stories and all the history that's happened. And softball was a lot bigger back in the day, and it has a lot of history here in Ohio as well as at Sorrentos. I mean, I can't tell you exactly how many times they won it, but between the women's and the men's, they have been the softball champions for Ohio a number of years. So there is a lot of things to tell and a lot of things to be heard, and it really is interesting to listen to. So
And you can't go wrong. It sounds like you've got a great host, Jeff Picoro. I mean, top-notch news guy in our area.
yeah,
Yeah, so I mean that sounds
it's
great.
really interesting to talk to the gentleman. He knows a lot about sports, and the fact that he gets involved with this is really a wonderful thing, and it just makes it that much better.
And you mentioned about the history and tradition of some of the other sports that have been involved with Sorrentos, the different athletes, the Bengals, the Reds, the Oakland Raiders, how they
Yeah,
love to come and experience true Italian cuisine at your restaurant.
yeah. I mean, obviously, Pete Rose was involved in this restaurant a lot via the Reds. And was a local fixture here. And like I always like to tell people, Willie would hold court at the bar, and there would be countless Reds and Bengals players, or just well-known fixtures from the area hanging out. Billy Cunningham's another one who used to spend a lot of time here as well. It's just there was so much history here. Interestingly enough, when we mentioned the Oakland Raiders, apparently, from my understanding, they would come here every time before they would play against the Bengals, and Ken Stabler being the fixture involved in that one. That man apparently loved Willie and Sorrentos and would come here before every game in Cincinnati. Other ones, other big players, that used to come here, Ken Griffey Jr., some of the other big sports friends from that era as well, from the Big Red Machine and such, would come all the time. We even have pictures of Billy Cunningham on the walls too, who was the sports announcer for WLW. So I mean, there's been a lot of famous and well-known individuals that have been coming in and out of here throughout the many years that this place was open.
Oh, definitely.
So
So rich history, like you said, and the beauty of it is that you can see literally the history of the place on the walls. You can see all the different athletes and the phenomenal people that have helped to make Sorrento's what it is. But speaking about helping to make it, tell us about your renovations. I understand you've put a couple dollars into renovating Sorrento's.
Oh yeah, we spent quite a few dollars in renovating this place. I've been involved in the renovations since we acquired the restaurant late 2017. We worked on the renovations for almost a year and reopened at the end of 2018, beginning 2019. I hate to say we spent lots of money on renovations, which would include moving the bar back to the original spot, which was in the back room. We had to refurbish that room as well, and we kind of set up a new and an old kind of feeling to it. We wanted to honor the old traditions of the house, whether physical or in food, and to bring in a new flair that represented the newness and what we were bringing to the restaurant ourselves. Involved in that transformation was the main dining was completely renovated with all new tables, though the booths themselves were refurbishments from the original booths in the restaurant, using both the insides and the outer skins to refurbish and put new booths in the restaurant. We've also renovated 2 private rooms, one that we call the party room, where it's actually got all of the sports memorabilia, new and old, splashed throughout it. And then the newest of the party rooms, which we call the wine room, which features a wine wall and a fire pit as well inside, as well as a kind of a rustic feel to it, very warm and inviting. Now, on the outside, we tore down the old DeLuca owned house where they actually resided, and in place of that, we've built another bar for outside, as well as a fire pit for outside, and a bocce ball set that we made from crushed shells to kind of keep it traditional in nature. And then, funny enough, we even have a Fiat that's pinstriped out that is also an homage to Enrico, who used to work on Fiats back when he was still around and in his prime. So we've definitely tried to keep the old and to bring in the new splash to it. We've also got a brand new parking lot, and we'll have another brand new parking lot here soon. So I mean, the place looks gorgeous, though it has that Italian rustic feel to it, you know. So there's a lot of new and old. The outside we plan on opening once it gets nice outside, and we expect it to be very, 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 very full and exciting in the future. And we also plan on opening up with a band playing out there at some point in time. So we have a lot of cool stuff coming down the line.
Sounds amazing. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, it really is. It's been amazing to be involved in it, you know?
Was remarkable. Like you said, the different rooms, the different theme rooms, the party room, like you said, I mean, just filled with sports history. The wine room, like you said, it feels like being in a log cabin with the fireplace. I mean, it's so nice and romantic, which is why I was there. I was there for Valentine's Day with my wife, and just remarkable experience. She won't stop talking about how great of an experience it was. So definitely, and I am looking forward to, like you said, the outside area, which is going to be huge this summer. I know you're even talking about some other possible renovations as things go forward.
We also talked about possibly, assuming things work out, there might be an upstairs involvement that we are trying to get passed through getting permits and such. But yeah, we have some future renovations that could be happening in the near future. So.
Wow. That sounds remarkable. I mean, it sounds like a really great place to entertain. What are some of your key dishes?
Some of our key dishes in the restaurant, I'm starting off with appetizers. We have the Mama T's Italian sausage dip. It's a big hit. These are one of the dishes that actually was brought to us by our new owner's mother, who's an Italian cook herself. And it's the Mama T's Italian sausage dip, and it's got a fresh Italian sausage blended with secret spices and a rich cream cheese blend. Fairly authentic in flavor, and really a nice sharing dish. Under our pizza, all of our pizza, like I said before, comes from the original recipe of Enrico. We use the same Caputo grains that he used and the same live yeast that he used in the past, and we tried to replicate the pizza and keep it original, and adding different types of toppings that might not have been there in the past. Under the entree dishes, my favorite, hands down, is the gnocchi, which is going to be a potato pasta served with your choice of a rich tomato sauce and or a basil and butter sage sauce, which is my favorite. The second one is so yummy. If you're looking for something a little bit more filling, we also have the chicken piccata, which is a roasted chicken served over a classic polenta, and a polenta, which is, if anybody doesn't know what polenta is, going to be it's a cornmeal-based potato sort of consistency to it. Very, very, very traditional Italian. And then topped off with our caper butter sauce, and then served with a side of Brussels sprouts. both those dishes are amazing on their own, but there's plenty of other dishes to choose from on her, including chicken Alfredo. We also have a really good cheese blended ravioli with spinach, and we have a really, really good eggplant parmesan. You really can't go with them. Now with our desserts, my favorite part of the course of an experience here, of course, we have our cannolis, which would be two of our cannoli shells dipped on in a chocolate ganache, stuffed with a ricotta blend cheese, and then finished with chocolate kisses and powdered sugar. Really cannot go wrong there. Now, kind of funny, our cheesecake is amazing. We have a homemade cheesecake that was put together solely by our chef, who was classically trained and studied in Italy. He does this amazing cheesecake, homemade, served over a graham cracker crust, and served with a blueberry compote made from fresh blueberries, and then finished with powdered sugar. Really amazing too. So there's so many classic dishes and new dishes to choose from here. They're amazing in taste and in sight as well. So
sounds remarkable. And of course, with you being the bar manager, obviously you could probably recommend too.
Oh God, I like to say, our beverage, our drink selection here is amazing. Besides having an expanded wine list, which is to die for, and reasonably priced, we have wonderful classic cocktails here. My favorite, and I think that was your wife's favorite too, Tuscan Mule. So I kind of when we developed this mule, we were trying to come up with something that made it Italian in nature, and why we call it a Tuscan Mule. So what we did was we used fresh raspberries, mint, and lime juice. We muddle that together. We serve it with a house-made pear vodka, limoncello, and then finish it with ginger beer, and then garnish it with a sprig of mint and raspberry. It is a phenomenal drink. It really works well for any type of taste, really. And then we could go for more of a classic item, which would be our red sangria, which we use a Sangiovese wine. Interestingly enough, we had peach schnapps, pineapple juice, cranberry juice, sweet and sour, soda water, and we serve that with fresh wedges of lime and lemon. Really a fantastic sangria. All of our drinks are wonderful and are freshly made, and are made from scratch as well. So the drinks are dear to my heart, and I hope to everyone else's as well.
So, I mean, obviously your place seems to have everything. It's got great parking because you're adding that as we're going along. We got you've got the great atmosphere with the walls, with the rooms, with the history. You got the excellent quality food. And then, of course, the last but not least, what really makes a restaurant stand out above others is the staff.
Is the
Staff, your employees.
What was that again?
Your employees. This is the part where you say nice things about them.
The staff, of course. Our staff here is amazing. First of all, my GM was the GM and AGM at Eddie Merlot's at one time, and is a wonderful man to work under and to learn under. I also like to talk about the bartenders, which are so qualified and experienced in their field and know exactly what they're doing, and they cater to their guests as well as to the drinks for their guests. And then our serving staff is wonderful to work with, and they take such good care of their guests. I mean, it's always about the staff in the end and about the people they're taking care of in the end. And you got to have a wonderful staff that knows what they're doing and has the knowledge to do what they do. It's been an amazing experience here with them. All of them are wonderful. So
now with the Hall of Fame, is that something people can visit, or is that only the once-a-year thing?
It's just one time a year. That's it. But the gathering for it in the inductees, just like the Cooperstown Hall of Fame is done once a year, and that occurs here at Sorrentos. So it just passed recently, and we'll be doing it again next January when it comes back up. So there's always 5 or 6 inductees every year, and it's fun to see which ones get inducted. And just like the Cooperstown, you have your people that are chosen for it, and then the ones that actually are picked to go into the Hall of Fame. So it's really a fantastic experience to see everybody having fun, waiting to see who actually gets inducted. It's really a lot of fun.
So before we let you go, Where is
Yeah.
where's Sorrento's? What are the hours of
Okay.
operation? That kind of thing.
Oh well, Sorrento's is going to be on. It's first of all, it's on Montgomery Road in Norwood. The address would be 5143 Montgomery Road. It's going to be just north of the Nora Lateral on Montgomery Road when you get off the Nora Lateral. If you notice, we do have a sign when you're coming off of 71 that that tells you about Sorrento's. Actually, funny enough, it says Sorrento. It says Sorrento, Italy. But it is on Montgomery Road, 5143. Our phone number is 513-502-5260. I'm sorry, my apologies. 513-5070. My apologies. 513 area code. And we're on the left side of the hill going up the left side of the road going up the hill. So it's really easy to find. You can't miss it with the bright red fence as you drive by.
And where can fans find out more about the business of Sorrento's on social media and the web?
Yeah, you can get on the web. We do have a website, which is Sorrento.com, which you can find on there. You can look it up on Google or on any of the social media websites, and it'll come right up. So we do have a website, and it will tell you about our history as well about our times of operations, which presently are from 4 to 9 for dinner and from 11:30 to 2:30 for lunch, though we will be expanding those times come summertime when we open up the outside and when we've gotten our feet a little wet. You know what I mean? So.
Sounds great. I'd like to thank our guest, the bar manager of Sorrento's, Jimmy Curvall, and definitely appreciate having you on the show today.
And I appreciate you having me, James. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.